Have you ever seen the moon in a clear night sky? If you have observed the moon, you would have seen that it doesn't look the same all night. On some nights appears so big and round, and on others it is half a round light in the sky, right? Have you ever wondered why the moon looks different from night to night? To understand this only, one has to know about the lunar cycle. So now I want you to observe this figure very carefully. I mean, it consists of various phases of the moon, like it begin with the new moon and end with the new moon, thereby completing one moon cycle or one lunar cycle. By the way, it's never ending process. From the Earth's surface, we can observe 8 distinct stages of the moon's illumination called lunar phases. As we know, the moon revolves around the Earth at a fixed orbit and does not have its own light, meaning it is lit by the sun. The moon looks different to us depending on where it is in orbit. So when the moon is exactly in the middle of the Earth and the sun, it becomes nearly invisible in the night sky. How? As the side facing the earth does not get the sunlight, that is, the far side of the moon is in sunlight, but the side facing you is dark. It is not visible because the sun is not shining on the side that faces you. This invisible phase of the moon is called the new moon phase, and this is the first phase of the moon cycle or the lunar cycle. But as the moon continues to orbit and moves a little ahead in the waxing phase, after 2 or 3 days, some light from the sun starts to fall on some of its part, which makes the moon appear in a crescent shape. That is nothing but it is thicker in the middle and tapers to thin points at each end. And this phase is called as the waxing crescent. And as the moon continues its orbital journey, the sun's reflection keeps on increasing on the moon's surface, and in about a week, when the sun is in a 90-degree position to the moon, we could see its half-lit portion. This phase is called the first quarter. Next, in about 2 or 3 days after the first quarter, the moon is more than full and still increasing its illuminated surface in the phase we called as waxing gibbous. And in about 2 weeks after the new moon or the invisible moon, it reaches behind the earth with respect to the sun, and the full side of the moon facing the earth gets the sunlight, due to which finally we can see the full moon. Now we are going to see the waning phase. As you may know, waning means to decrease in size, where the moon starts its return journey from full moon to the invisible new moon. As the light begins to decrease on its surface and it enters the waning gibbous phase. After this, as the light begins to decrease on its surface and it enters the waning gibbous phase. After this occurs the last quarter phase, during which the moon is once again half illuminated, but the lit area that's visible is on the decline. This is followed by the waning crescent phase, in which the moon shrinks back to the crescent that's less than half full. And finally, the moon finishes its journey in about 29.5 days and comes back between the earth and sun to its new moon phase, thereby marking the completion of the lunar cycle, just to start over again. I want you to remember this point, that is, when the moon appears to be getting bigger, it's called waxing. And when it looks like it's getting smaller, it's called waning. I like to tell you something. The word gibbous comes from the Latin language and it means hump, or it simply means convex shapes or bulging outward. Now that you have understood the lunar cycle,
I hope you find this video informative. Thank you for watching it.